Alright, today we're going to go over my keypad lock and timer user component. I programmed it, but my wife did do all the beautiful design work on it. So we'll start in the upper left-hand corner and we'll start with the user password. So this is the password that you end up setting and you want your four-digit combination to be. That is the maximum number that you need to set is a four-digit number. So we'll change it here to 1234 in this example, enter, and then we have a couple different options, and we'll come back to these default properties here in a second. So we can start a timer. We'll do like a 5-second timer here, and we'll start it. While this timer is running, the buttons are disabled. As soon as the timer expires, then the buttons are re-enabled, and you'll even see here there's some LEDs, and so it says it's true, and we'll come back to that. There's some control pins that light up off of that. So we'll enter in the password 1234. Right now we're just on the regular numeric keypad. We don't have the hide text enabled, so once we enable that, we'll see it down here with stars instead of seeing the numeric keypad. And then if we want to enter the password, we hit enter. Boom, it's the correct password. You see this is true. And then since we have the timer active, it'll just automatically restart, go through the whole cycle again. But if you want to do auto enter, that way here, instead of having to hit enter every time you're doing a four-digit password, it will automatically check it. Again, you do the same thing if you want to do hide text. Bam, correct password, and you'll actually see these digits populating below here. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let's not have auto enter enabled for a second, and you can actually see 1, 2, 3, 4. So before you hit enter, it builds these buckets together and to one, and as soon as you hit enter, it compares these two, right? Bam. So with the auto enter, it does the same thing. And again, um, we'll just do an incorrect password real fast. Boom. This lights up, and then this brings us to the default properties. So let's say in the event we want auto enter enabled every time the core reboots, the script starts, whatever, we hit yes. So it automatically does light this up. But even if we turn this off and I have the script in the other window, I'm going to restart it. Bam, you could see it starts it. So and just depending on these two, right? Like if we want to have hide text enabled, restart the script, bam, that stays true. Or if we turn it off, bam, turn it back on, it stays true. So this is already enabled. So these are kind of your default properties you would find before you go live, but you can actually edit them live. So again, with these LEDs, oh, and this click show both. So you can see both text fields at the same time if you really wanted to. Just give that as an option. I wouldn't really recommend doing that for the end user, but for debugging purposes or whatever, you can do that. And then for the code, kind of zoom in here a little bit. Um, I just did a few button presses if you wanted to emulate the button presses, right? And so here's enable auto enter, the back button, the clear button, the enter button if you didn't have auto enabled, enter enabled, stop the timer, which we can go over here in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Restart the timer button, activate the timer, and then this is like a signal if it's hot. Don't use this. This is for coding. I had to use a table, and this was the way to do it. And then the password correct LED, which you can see is true. The password incorrect, which is false. And then timer expired if there is one running. So we'll jump back over here for a second and we'll start a timer for 10 seconds. Bam, timer active. Cool, it's running, doing its thing. We'll come over here to the control pin. You see it's false. Give it a few seconds here. Boom, it's true, so you can trigger stuff off of that. And then if we wanted to hit restart timer, bam, this restarts it again. And if we want to hit instant end, bam, it stops the timer. And yes, it's still active, so you can hit like restart, whatever, but it just kind of gives you some options from the control pin side if you weren't just going to follow some of this other basic logic. The timer maximum is an hour, so should be enough time if you had a customer that wanted to lock it out after a certain time or whatever. And this should cover everything, but if there's something I'm missing, let me know. Oh, and the last page. So this was my original design here, and here I'll zoom in or get this filled in correctly here. Um, if I can click here. So this is my original design that my wife redesigned off of, right? So this is just kind of what I used. And actually, I can show you here. So if anybody doesn't want to use these buttons, so to say, I ended up having to comment something out in some code, but you can get all the labels on these very easily. And I'll bring this over here. The code is unlocked. It's the only lines I left commented out. So you could see right here in 366, if we delete that and then up here at the top, oh yeah, it's three things, 45 and 46. And I think that's it. Boom. Move this out of the way. You can see, and let me restart the script. I may have to go offline and online. No, you know what it is? It's I have it button back. You need to comment these out instead. Bam. Now you have all your button labels. Same logic works, all that. It just it looks really screwy now on these buttons because it's trying to put labels on the legend. So yeah, if you comment that out now, we'll go back to here. What was that, 366 or something like that? That's right here. Boom. Now, might need to restart the script. Now, I think for this one, I did have to go online and offline just to break the table real fast. Let me see. Yeah, that one I did. I remembered I had to go online and offline for something, but just in case you wanted to use that and not use these buttons associated with this. Um, but uh, but yeah. And again, look, see, even after restarting the script, because of my default properties, everything held true. Same thing if I had timer active. As soon as the script started, it just whatever I had set, it was 10 seconds, right, prior. Um, it would boom restart back to that normal time, not start at 6 seconds. So if there's any questions or anything, let me know. But I think this should cover everything. So thank you.